723 Big Ticket Morning Show. B103 the ATL's number one bid pop R&B and throwbacks every Cinco de Mayo. 65 degrees. What you walk out into is what it's going to be all day.
All right.
65 degrees. That's what we're doing today.
Well, you're going to need it to be a little chilly if you get that tequila in you.
Facts.
You know, tequila make you a little hot.
That's a 3 to 5 thing we're doing over there at Tequila and Tacos on Ponce.
That's right.
Pull up on us later on today, but right about now it's time for a Shamea surrogacy update.
Yeah, I had every intention and plan on going and pulling up on Scottish Rite Joa to pick up my daughter today, who's been in the NICU since birth, since February 14th. She was born at 35 weeks prematurely. She had corneal which means both of her nasal passages were blocked, and she has craniosynostosis, which means her skull was sutured together. She should have a soft spot, but she didn't. So she'll have to deal with that later, around 5 or 6 months old. They'll go in and open up her skull, but they've already done the opening of her nasal passages. She's had 2 surgeries done by Dr. Paula Harmon, who's phenomenal, amazing ENT surgeon at Scottish Choa. And Monday, Shiloh moved down to the annex, which is like the last step before you go home. So she's like in the annex NICU where they send your babies to, because it's, you know, not as intensely watched, and you do your room-ins where, you know, the mom and dad have to come at individual times to just kind of, they work a 12-hour shift, and they get little to no assistance from the staff or the nurses. You have to insert the feeding tube, the NG tube anyway. She has hers in her nose now, a nasal gastric tube. And then you have to set the monitor up for the feeds to actually go in, which is a whole class we had to take. You have to, you know, do everything like as if you were operating on your child at home by yourself. They don't allow parents to help each other out. They're like, what if? Yeah, they said they used to, but then they realized that like sometimes the moms will have to end up going back into the hospital, or one parent will be sick and the other parent will be left to do everything, and they couldn't. They failed because they were relying so heavily on the other parent. So Gerald went yesterday to do his 12-hour shift. While he's on the shift, I'm taking Shiloh to dinner, and you know I'm taking Shia to dinner because my intent was to pick her up from school, take her to dinner, and then like at dessert tell her, guess what? We're picking Shiloh up tomorrow. She's gonna finally come home. You get to meet her. And my husband FaceTimed me, and he was like, babe, she's running a fever. And we had been faced with that 2 days ago. She was running a fever, and then they gave her Tylenol, and they checked her again, and she was fine. Fever had broken, she was doing good, so we were still on track for her to come home today. So yesterday evening, she starts running a fever again. And I noticed when I got off work yesterday when I went to the hospital, because I always get off work and go straight to the hospital. When I got there yesterday, her heart rate was elevated again, because normally she's around like 160 or whatever, and they have like the guide to be around 220 or whatever. So it was like 160, so it was elevated. It was like 215, right there on the too high. And I kept asking, like, what's going on? They're like, oh, maybe she, you know, is too hot, or maybe she, you know, just all these other things. So I was always like, you know, as a mom, you're intuitive about things. So I was already asking questions, and I was like, are y'all gonna do a full workup before she comes home? Because I don't want to come back here. When she comes home, I want her to be home. But they're like, no, it's not necessary. I called Dr. Harmon. I'm like, hey, is she okay? Is she gonna be all right? Dr. Harmon's like, yes, she's good. She sounds great. Well, come to find out, they did a nasal swab on her, and then they drew labs. So far, she tested positive for a UTI. And I'm like, how the hell do a newborn get a UTI?
Wow.
I don't even understand, honestly, at this point. I'm like, I don't understand. Because at first I was like, you know, maybe I got her sick. You know, I went to the doctor. I didn't have anything viral or anything infectious. But
she gonna come home. She's just enjoying the hospital right now. She got a lot of people to hold her.
We already took everything home. like I said, Gerald was just gonna room in for his, because I already done my room in. We've already done all the trainings. All the car seat test was supposed to be this morning, where they put you in there. They put her in the car seat to make sure that she can, you know, stay in there for an hour and a half for any commute that you might have, hour and a half to 2 hours. So the plan was for her to do that today, and that was the last thing to check off for her to come home. So, you know, getting that call, of course I want her there. Of course I want her to be healthy. I don't want her to come home unhealthy, but I'm ready for her to come home. I mean, we're a week and a couple of days shy of her being there for 3 months. And I mean, if I prepared for that, like if I had just mentally known that this was something it was going to be, even down to Shadina, like her getting breast cancer. And, you know, if I had mentally prepared for that, when we picked our surrogate, we picked a healthy woman, you know, someone who was supposed to be healthier than me, who could carry our embryo. We picked the best embryo, the most viable embryo. We paid so much money just to have our embryos tested, you know, just to pick a quality embryo. I've done 7 rounds of IVF. I'm still, you know, taking fertility medicine in hopes that, you know, it'll just happen naturally, or, you know, taking prenatal vitamins here and there. Coke, you know, Q10, just to make sure I'm healthy. And you know, I guess my husband always says, God's plan is not your plan.
I got a question. The car seat test is only because of the things she's going through.
All babies that go through the NICU have to do the car seat test.
I've never heard of a car seat test.
Yeah, they want to make sure, like, so that
they want to make sure
if
she
you,
doesn't.
like, say you just left the hospital, say if you got stuck in Atlanta traffic, which is a weird thing, that the baby's going to still, you know, function and be comfortable in a car seat for that long time. Like, they're probably not going to be in a whole lot of car seats, you know what I'm saying, immediately, but on the way home, what if you get stuck in traffic? What if whatever happens? Like, what if you have to make a stop? Like,
But that's because she went through all this stuff.
Yeah, that's because she's
okay. I was like, they just giving.
Yeah, if babies that are born prematurely, they make them go through, like, you go through a lot of stuff.
Child, they gave me my baby in a sack. They was like, excuse me, ma'am, it's time for y'all to go. It's time for y'all to go. I said, but I ain't got no car seat. That's your problem. You should have picked the better baby dad.
So yesterday we just kind of, I mean, of course you know, moms always got to be strong. So at dinner with Jaya, I just told her, you know, well, he's like, so what's the, she's like, what's the surprise? I'm like, you get 2 scoops of ice cream, you know. She's 4, she bought it. She's like, yay. You know, I have to reach out to her teachers this morning and tell them that, you know, her sister's not coming home, so don't even mention it. And I'm hoping that this is just a delay for a couple of days and not, you know.
They didn't give you an ETA?
No, they just, like, you know, they started her on some antibiotics. It takes, I think, 12 hours for the other blood panel to come back. And I'll hopefully know a little bit more this evening.
I can't wait till she get home, because about 2 weeks in, she's going to be, Jared, it's your time. Go fix the bottle, Jared. Jared, get up, Jared. Get up, Jared. What's your other baby name?
Shia.
Shia, come get the baby bottle, Shia. I'm tired.
And let me tell you, the funniest thing, I saw this little baby on Instagram who was, like, twerking in her bed. And it's so cute because I was like, that's going to be me and Shiloh. You know, Shiloh's going to be doing that on Cinco de Mayo when she comes home. And I'm like,
everything going to be all right, baby.
It's going to be all right.
Car seat test, and we're going to be out of here. Then you going to have bags up under your eyes. You'll be looking like me.
I'm ready for those kind of bags.
Feed Garrett in the middle of the night.
Coming home when she's supposed to come home.
That's right.
And I couldn't imagine, and I know you don't want to even think about her coming home and having to go back. So.
Yeah, and it made crazy because, you know, like a lot of people are like, why would you shouldn't even posted it until she was home. I share everything. I've been sharing this whole journey with you. Why would I not share, you know, the good, you know? And that's the thing with social media. We always choose what we share. You always see people posting the amazing parts of their lives. And there are some not so nice parts in our lives. And we go through things. And I mean, I'm the kind of person where if my story can help somebody, if I can change somebody's life, then, you know, my living's not in vain.
Well,
like,
guess what? She knew you was gonna be drinking bottles tonight, so she at the hospital drinking bottles. Bottles for everybody.
She gave me
Go
a night
denial.
off.
We'll see you next week, baby.
Samia, we love you, we support you, we thank you for your transparency. Lots of people come up to me and say, how's your meat? And I'm like, she good. And ask about Shiloh all the time. Hashtag
Yes.
Shiloh Strong. We want you to be that hashtag for yourself as well. And we'll keep you abreast of the situation as it develops. Samia is Surrey, this is Jamie. You can follow her.
At Shamea, spelled shame with A on the end. SHAMEA. And Morton like the star at the steakhouse. MORTON. Thank y'all so much for. Yeah.
I'm about to
We
leave.
love you,
this
sis.
is-
It's gonna be alright.
Yay! Let's go get drunk. I mean, drink.
Oh my gosh.
We'll be back with more Big Tick Morning Show next time. Be more good.
You don't have to. You don't have to.